Well, this is a few hours, not literally a few hours, a few hours of labor later. You may remember the condition the Cadillac was after I got it back from the shop after being in for 7 months. And yes, I did confirm with the shop owner that it was unfortunately stored outside most of that time just because they didn't have room and the car didn't have a steering wheel and some other parts you need to drive it. Still not happy about it, but again, this is why I'm doing all the mechanical work on the car before I worry about paint and body and chrome and all that kind of stuff. So, just thought I'd show you, I gave you some pretty good looks at what the chrome looked like after all that time. Looked pretty nasty. So here's the post. This is a few hours of scrubbing and polishing, and I think you will agree, things do look a whole lot better. Again, this is not great chrome. You can see there's plenty of pitting in there, but at least we don't have to have nasty rust showing through all the time, which, man, that was just grody. So I also did a few of the little side pieces like here. Some things like this, you just can't really see that at that angle with the light. Maybe it's like that. Yeah, I mean, that's just so nastily pitted. There's nothing you can do with that other than re-chrome it. I have not washed the car, so the body is still pretty dirty. But also did some of these little pieces on the side on the window that were looking pretty nasty. Again, you're not going to completely get rid of all that. But at least a lot of the other pieces, though, you know, little bits of trim chrome, all that around there. Haven't even touched any of that, and it still looks pretty good. Front was the worst. And again, you remember all that nasty oxidization showing through, just gross. Again, this is not show car quality chrome, but in just a few hours. The worst spot over here. Doesn't look too bad from far away. You get up close again. This is probably some of the worst pitting in the chrome right there. But my God, at least it's not orangey brown. And to do this, I just use the old trick of aluminum foil. As you get that nice and wet, keep it sloppy wet all the time, and just keep scrubbing. There's some kind of a chemical reaction that happens with the chrome that gets the rust off pretty well. I mean, plenty of elbow grease. I mean, this is probably a total of about 2.5 to 3 hours of scrubbing and polishing. Did the front and back, some of the side pieces, and then the front just now. And because the aluminum foil is softer than chrome, you don't have to worry about scratching it. Whereas people try and use like a Brillo pad, which is steel wool, you can scratch the chrome. And then finishing up with just some over-the-counter chrome polish. Not expensive. I mean, I think that bottle was like $3, and I'm not even halfway through it. So anyway, just a quick video to show, oh, and I also did something else which will probably appall some people just because I know I'm not going to be painting it anytime soon. Is the worst parts of the rust along the bottom of the car and a few other places. I actually just painted, scraped that, got the worst rust off, scraped it and painted it with just glossy Rust-Oleum. I know people are probably horrified to hear that. But I just wanted to not have it getting worse and worse while it's going to be, I mean, it's not going to be outside anymore, thank God. But, I just hate driving around and having rust showing through. There was a big patch right there that I did. Again, it was just surface rust, but still, didn't want it to get any worse. Along there, a few other places, a bunch. Little bits around the tail fins here. Again, just, getting that little bits of, I'm not sure what to do with all this little popcorn is what some people call it. It's just, old original paint that, you can see this is the original paint. That's the original primer showing through. And it just sort of bubbles up, and not bubbles because it implies rust, but I got a bunch on the top of the car, which I had maybe half of that when I first bought the car. I did a couple of tests where I actually just used the Rust-Oleum just to patch that, but I don't know. I mean, I don't worry too much about that, just as long as it's, because that's primer under there and it's not gonna get any worse. You can see a couple of patches there that I just to try it out. I mean, this is with a brush. I mean, I'm not spraying, I'm not making it look fancy. Just thought I'd try that. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna bother to do any more of that, just because there's so many of these that you could literally spend half a day getting those covered. I don't know. So many things to do. This is the worst thing when the car comes back from the shop, especially after such a long time, is, you know, I got the interior nice and clean, and now it's all nasty and dirty again, and, you know, dusty. Ugh. Yeah, just, oh yeah, a bunch of, oh look, I still have my, tape that I put on here to do this part. I was a little worried about this because, I mean, it was surface rust, but it looked pretty intense. So I got that scraped and sanded and Rust-Oleum on there. Just, you know, I don't want to, it's like, I know it's not going to look great in the meantime, but it looks better than bare rust and keeps it from getting any worse, at least for the time being. Next is probably give the car a good washing. And I don't know from there. I think just driving and enjoying it. My God, I've had this car so little. Two and a half years now. A little bit more than 2.5 years I've owned this car. And how little I've driven in that time. Yeah, look at my carpet there. From guys at the shop with their dirty shoes getting in and out of the car. Drives me crazy. But, I mean, that'll clean up. That's the thing with old cars. It'll clean up. It'll polish up. Take care now.